Hey y'all, Derek, Charleston on the water here, back out on the water today. Thanks y'all for tuning in. Hopefully everything's looking good on your end. If you look up here in this left-hand corner, well, my left, I believe your right, you'll notice that the StreamYard logo is no longer there. Went ahead and paid for the subscription, so you won't see that watermark anymore. Hopefully it's also coming in clearer because with the subscription, I should be able to broadcast with a better resolution. Sorry, I was looking for a word, couldn't really remember it there. So we're out here today. That's right, I've got bananas on a boat. I know you're not supposed to have bananas on a boat, but it's never really been, well, I've been superstitious, and I know that there are things on the water that you're supposed to be superstitious about. Hey, Tim, good to see you. Thanks for logging in. How's everything look? How's the clarity? How's the audio? How's all that looking today? I did go ahead and pay for a subscription, so you'll notice the watermark's not there. Clarity should be a lot better, too, for you. The picture should be really good. What we're out here doing today is I went ahead and went on ChatGPT to see what it would do for recipes for me. And I've got two recipes that I'm going to try today. So let me hop out there to the bow and get started with them, I guess. Looks good. Awesome. Thanks. Yeah, let's go out to the bow. You notice that the smoker is rolling right now. It is a master-built smoker. I know, like I said before, all the reviews were saying that this is an entry level, but I'm entry level, so that's what I'm rolling with today. I am rolling pecan in there because I want to do some stuff that I saw on ChatGPT. So GPT. So I've got everything lined up here. Let me hop back over there, though, to the screen and show you, if you're not familiar with it, I've had a couple friends that have really had a lot of success with ChatGPT. They've had a lot of success with this. My buddy Alex that I've talked about, who's a realtor, he used it for a listing, so I got him about 80-90% of the way there. He just had to do some editing. So I wanted to try today and see what it was capable of doing. So what I did was I actually logged on to it, and when you go to the website, you basically will go to the website, and then you either log in or sign up. So I signed up, created an account, and then from there, you put your email in, and it will send you a verification. So it wanted my first name, last name, my phone number. It sent me a 6-digit code. I entered that code, and then basically we were in. So when you get there, it talks about, if you're not familiar with this, it tells you like what it can do, what it can't do. It's meant for good, not evil, all of that good stuff. So basically, I went in there and you ask it questions. Today just started off with some simple questions to ask it. And those were, what can I do with sweet potatoes, and what can I do with bananas? Because with my condition, like I said, I'm actually sitting pretty rough right now with diverticulitis, so I'm not really allowed to play with much meats at the moment. So I had a little bit of pepperoni yesterday and stuff like that. So we went in here, and it was like, can you help me develop a recipe for sweet potatoes? I should have specified a little bit more, and that's what I notified. I wanted sweet potato burnt ends. I realized that you're supposed to really tell it really specific questions, but this is what it looked like. The user interface was great, and it gave me this whole recipe here. So you'll notice today we were starting with 2 sweet potatoes. I peeled them. I haven't cut them yet. I've got the olive oil, the paprika, the garlic powder, all that stationed out there ready to go. It gave me all these directions. What I messed up with, because you that are tuning in, that have come to know me right now, I kind of still fire from the hip a little too much, and I missed that section there where it talks about a saucepan. So I don't have a saucepan, so we're going to shoot from the hip on that today. But then I went in there and asked it if it could do something for me with some bananas. And that's what it did. It did the exact same thing with bananas. I will put those recipes up for you later. But awesome. We've got more people joining. Thanks for coming out. CV, you're here. Victor, you're here. Greg, you're here. Awesome. Thank you all for joining in. Hopefully the live stream is a lot more clear because I went ahead and paid for StreamYard and we're supposed to be getting pretty good live stream. I still need to go ahead and get the Elon Musk thing attached to here so I can do the mobile live streams, because the slow entry bank, the banks, the grass, the sawgrass, all of that, the marsh, it's beautiful country. And I really want to be able to take y'all on a cruise and show you the capability of this barge and get mobile and get out there. But what we're going to do is we're going to hop back out here real quick and get to it. So what it tells me to do is it wanted these cut up into 1-inch pieces. Those of you who are just tuning in too, who didn't see the live stream the other day, I did get the table done. So I am sitting here with a nice little butcher block table, which I think is a nice addition to the studio. Well, there goes that piece. Let me have this. Mariner's going over there to chew on it. But yeah, I added this nice butcher block table, which gives me the ability to just kind of dress it up a little bit more for y'all, enhance the setting for you. And like I said, the goal is to go ahead and get the barge out in front of some locations that are really unique. So I've got Tangi. For those of you who aren't familiar with Tangi, she is the young lady who came out and did the collards and Hoppin' Johns with me. And she's also the one that did the garlic, honey garlic, why am I having a brain fart? The honey garlic lamb chops. So Tangi is going to Greensboro, North Carolina for an apprenticeship with the American Culinary Federation. So we will be losing her to Greensboro. But before she leaves, she's going to come out and do one last episode with us this Wednesday. I might actually try to get her to go live with me, see if it's something that she's comfortable with. And for that, I want to take the barge out of the creek. Like I said, I've got to, as you can see from the banks here, we're at low tide. So I can't get out here at low tide. I can go under the bridge, but it's a dicey maneuver there. And I did lose access to the dock that I used to store this at on the other side of the bridge. So getting out of here is a commitment. I've got my welder lined up to do one last modification to the spuds, allowing me to change out the cable for regular maintenance, because the spuds, the cables on the spuds are stainless cables. However, the rigging on it is not. So I am petrified, as it already is starting to wear out, that's going to wear out at the most inopportune time and leave me stranded somewhere. So these are going to be a little bit smaller than what the recipe's calling for, but I think it'll turn out just fine. The smoker, like I said, is rolling with some pecans. We're here in the South, and pecans are one of the favorite things we've got. So it's rolling in there. So now what I'm supposed to do is I'm supposed to add the olive oil, paprika. So it calls for 3 tablespoons olive oil, 2 teaspoons of paprika, a teaspoon of garlic powder. So we're going to add, was going to add the garlic powder. Apparently I loaded this too soon and the humidity got to it. So let me scrape that out of there. As you can see, we're overcast a little bit today, so we've got some a lot more humidity than what I'm used to this time of year, but I'm glad again, to be going through these numbers right now because Charleston's known for its humidity, so that's only going to get worse. So we put the garlic powder. We've got onion powder. Let me maybe perhaps put that blade away since I am a long ways away from any help out here. I've got old Mariner here that, he could always do the old Lassie, Timmy fell in a well thing. So we got the onion powder, the garlic powder. We've got, I went ahead and mixed the salt and pepper earlier because I need to go buy a few more of these things. So I was running out of them, so I just pre-mixed the salt and pepper. It calls for a teaspoon of both of those. And then we've got some chili powder. And then that's it. This is all supposed to get mixed together. So we'll mix that up. While I'm doing this, I'll actually walk your way and see what comments we have in the comment section. I can't wait till I get this thing. It ships out tomorrow, so maybe by next weekend we'll have a camera that actually tracks me. I'm really looking forward to that because, as you know, being out here by myself, in order to give you the production value that I think y'all deserve and that I want to give you, I need to be able to do a lot of this on my own. So we're just fumbling through it, seeing what we're capable of doing. So we got Russell, awesome, wild low tide, yeah. And Tangie's great, isn't she? I'm really excited. She took us up on, she took Haig up on reaching out to the American Culinary Federation because she's a self-taught chef. So she reached out to the American Culinary Federation and went up to Greensboro. The chef up there did that little mystery box thing with her, having her run through putting ingredients together to plate it and see how she did. Obviously she did well. And so now she's got a nice little apprenticeship going on. So I look forward to watching her progress. And I will be up in the Greensboro area, I think April. I've got a marketing meeting up there. So hopefully we can link up and do something with Tangi while we're up there. Let me hop back over here and get back to it. We're going to pan this stuff up real quick and throw it in the smoker. So let me actually get in front of here and show y'all what we're working with. So we've got these sweet potatoes. They're looking pretty good. I did sneak, for those of you who have some culinary experience, you see those crushed red peppers in there. I did sneak some of those in there too. The recipe, ChatGPT did not call for them, but I thought, it add a nice little kick to it and a little bit more flavor. I do have a lot of bacon ends and pieces that I want to do bacon burnt ends with as well, but I figured I'd get started with an easy recipe like this with some sweet potatoes and see how it turns out. So we're going to go ahead and throw them in there. Again, like I said, I realize I'm working with a master built out here. I am entry level with pretty much everything when it comes to the kitchen. So I know the master built reviews say it's entry level, and it's perfect for me. When it comes time to take the training wheels off, I welcome any advice or knowledge or insight you might have as to what I should look for next. So let's go ahead and get that cleaned up so I'm not dirtying up underneath there. Let's throw this in there. Woo-wee, a lot of smoke. A lot of smoke. Again, like I said, I've got pecan chips in there, giving off a lot of flavor. It's the South. I mean, your choices are mesquite. Your choices are applewood, pecan, or hickory. Hickory, I think, goes great with meats. Mesquite, I know they love that out west, but I think it's because they don't have trees like pecans or apple wood, apple trees, as much as prevalent in the Southwest. So they like their mesquite there, not knocking it. John Lewis here in Charleston does a lot with some mesquite barbecue, does a really good job with it. We actually, with Cooper River Farms, the line of meats that I sell to a lot of these restaurants, we make a mesquite smoked barbecue. It's delicious. I'm not barbecue, bacon. We make a mesquite smoked bacon, and it is absolutely delicious. It's funny, our general manager at the plant was a little bit against it at first, and like he immediately calls after he did the test batch and was like, dude, this thing is freaking spectacular. This bacon's delicious. It's nice because, you know, some people's objection to bacon is it is a little too sweet, so the mesquite eliminates that, but it's really delicious. Pecan CV is your go-to. Awesome. Awesome. So yeah, I'm excited. I want to actually see if Tangi, when she comes out here, will do a pecan smoked cornbread with whatever we make. I'd love to get a good recipe for cornbread. And Tangi, when we did the lamb chops, actually no, when we did the New Year's thing, Tangi was like, I asked her, I said, oh man, what we should have done is we should have done cornbread. And she was like, why are you going to wait till we get all the way out here for you to bring up cornbread? And so I'm really excited to try out a pecan smoked cornbread in there. Maybe bake it out here, see how that goes. And then we've got Captain Geechee. How you doing, man? Thanks for signing in. Talking about if it works, keep using it. Some of the electric smokers for years, like the crock pot, set it and forget it. The only thing, and again, like I said, I'm new to all this. I'm a novice. Is I have a tough time keeping that temperature going and keeping it where it needs to be. So I'm very interested in playing with this thing. Like I said, I've got some chefs lined up to come out and play with it, and looking forward to all this stuff that we're going to do with it this season out on the water. While we're waiting on that too, because it's supposed to sit for about 25, 30 minutes. So while we're waiting on it, I'm actually want to give you a follow-up to a story I told y'all about the other day. My buddy Alex had his tractor stolen the 1st of February, right after duck season's over, right? That Thursday. Maybe the 2nd. It was between the 1st and the 2nd. It was 0:34 in the morning. So 12:34 in the morning, somebody walked onto his property, and by 0:56, 20-something minutes later, was pulling off with his tractor. It was a 75 horsepower Kubota, and I and Colin ran all over the Adams Run area trying to find as much remnants of the tractor as we can. We found the implement, they ditched it. We found tracks on the dirt road, then it went to pavement, then it went back to dirt road. We still found some tracks. So it led you to believe that it's not like as quick as they were in and out. It wasn't their first time, but it's like they're not professionals. So Alex does a lot of shooting out there, and he reached out to some of his friends in the law enforcement community. They actually recovered that tractor yesterday. So it was a nice little pleasant surprise for the weekend, because there's nothing I hate worse in this world as a thief, and he got his tractor back. They haven't caught the suspect, but they have got fingerprints and have got a suspect that they're going to be chasing after. So I'll fill you in on that as that story develops. But yeah, Tim, it is awesome. Because that I felt bad for Alex. That tractor getting taken was not cool. So let's step back out here and give some attention to these bananas. One thing, we're sitting at 300 degrees, which is great. One thing that I did forget with the bananas is this recipe called for it called for your favorite addition, whether that was ice cream or whipped cream or what, and it didn't have that listed in the actual list itself. So I went there, I just pulled off the things from the top, and the ingredients list did not tell you that it needed the addition of any ice cream, which I kick myself because it's obvious now once I get out here that ice cream is what this is missing. For those of you who have watched the channel and you saw when I went down to Miami with Alfred back in June and we did the, what was it? The plantains. I did the plantains in a nice little boat and with the ice cream. I should have realized that that's what I should have done here today. And that's what it was calling for, but I don't know why I brain farted when I got to the store. So what it says is, it says to cut off the ends. So cut off the top stalk, cut off the butt. And then I need to go through the banana at that top. So I'm going to use a nice little paring knife. And you're supposed to make an incision the length of the banana, but not penetrating through. And that's supposed to be able to allow us to put some flavor down in there. So I've got Mariner back here. I need to build out something out here. One, to help with some better lighting, better audio, and then also give you different points of views for the camera, because I've got Mariner sitting here patiently on the other side of me, smelling all this stuff, smelling so good. And he's like, can I get some of that? Yesterday, we had Eddie, Joe, and Rio out here. And Joe told me today, by the way, can you please let me know if that plane is messing with the audio or whatnot? But yeah, Joe told me today that he's going to shoot the next guy that feeds Rio pizza, because he said that it was not a pleasant night with the puppy, cleaning up after all that diarrhea from the pizza. How hot is it up here? Hot enough. One thing I forgot to do was a saucepan. So I need to heat this, and this is jumping back over for them. I need to heat, what it is it's 4 tablespoons of brown sugar, or half a cup, not a half, a quarter of a cup of brown sugar, quarter of a cup of barbecue sauce, and then a quarter a cup of honey. And this is going to go as a glaze on top of those burnt ends. So what I am guessing I can do, because for those of you, again, who watch the channel enough, you know that I have to improvise because I take off half-cocked all the time. What I'm guessing I can do instead of a saucepan is introduce heat to this bowl, just sitting it on top there. So we'll let it warm up for a minute. Let me grab another bowl for you real quick, walk to this screen, and see what y'all are talking about, if anyone's got any questions. Put it in the smoker after you mix it. Can't hear the plane. Awesome. Awesome. Glad to know that. And again, please, in the comment section, let me know if the picture goes in and out, any of that stuff. Like I said, I'm out here rather remote, trying to get this done, and still trying to work out all the kinks as we work through this together. So let me go back out front, and because City is the actual chef in the channel, she is saying to put it in the smoker, which I actually love that idea because it should add a little bit more flavor to it as well. So let's add it in here. Those sweet potato burnt ends are looking delicious. So now what we're supposed to do is mix 4 teaspoons of butter, tablespoons, not good at this math and stuff. Another 1/4 cup of brown sugar, and then I've got the cinnamon and nutmeg mixed into each other. Again, like I said, I was running low on bowls. That also needs to sit up there and warm up because that butter is not as warm as it needs to be. So let's just let that butter warm up for a second. And yeah, so like I said, got a lot of fun things coming up. The Wildlife Expo is closing in on us. Really looking forward to that. Like I said, got Josh lined up with the River Dogs on Friday. Got Melissa and her husband Brian coming on that Saturday. So it's the 17th, 18th, 19th, 2 weeks from now. And then I've got Colin, who, not sure many of you have met him, but Colin is a buddy of mine. He's coming out on Sunday. So Colin has owned his own shrimp boat in the past. He's been a chef out on Edisto, and he has just done a bunch of things. He now works for my buddy Alex, and when Alex travels with Aquabob, used to be, and then it was, which was the 58-foot catamaran, Colin was always the one doing the cooking. He does amazing cooking. Been with him from here to the Abaca, well, actually down into Exuma. He does a great job. So I know y'all are yelling right now, safety first. Let me grab a mitt. I have brought these out here with me today. Let me grab that sauce. It's probably warm enough at the moment. I don't have the hardened hands like most of you chefs do. But yeah, Colin, really excited. Yep, that's hot. Really excited to get him out here. Actually, going to be doing a deviled eggs episode with him. Really, I'm a huge fan of deviled eggs. That's pretty good. ChatGPT might be doing me a solid with this recipe. Actually, it's probably, let's just set it up there so it doesn't become too gelatinous with all that honey in it. Let's hop back over here. Say, hey, what do we got going on? You don't want to eat your Chef Boyardee right now? I don't blame you, Russell. The invite's always here if you want to just hop on I-95 and come on down. We can have all sorts of fun down here. And then we've got Captain Geechee here. What are you saying? Drop some posts down your forward spud holes and run some poles to the back of the house. You're exactly right. You're exactly right. That's what the plan is. I put that subfloor down for the AstroTurf a little bit sooner than I should have. Again, like everything, pulled the trigger a little too soon. Really wish I brought that floor up high enough because there's actually a 2x2 channel that runs the length of this that when it was for construction purposes kept your tractor from going off in the drink. So it's perfect for framing out, tacking to and building a structure on it. So that is ultimately the goal. is to build a structure on top of this that allows me to have something out there, and then possibly go up with it. I'm at 9.5 to the top from the watermark, so I can get a little bit higher if I want. And I was thinking about maybe putting a crawl space up there, so when I do take it on the river, I have somewhere to sleep, and then also somewhere to lock Mariner at, so he's safer when we get around a lot of the dinosaur gators that are around the south. But we are probably going to need to pull that concoction out of the top. That butter's probably warm. We were up in, those sweet potatoes are looking nice though. I was up in Myrtle Beach on Friday, and we were cooking for some Cisco reps. And while cooking for them, I got distracted. And when I was distracted, I burnt butter because I needed to caramelize up some onions, because we were doing, what were we doing? We were doing bangers and mash. We were doing our pork strami with coleslaw and Russian dressing. And then we were doing nice little chicken sausage, sausage, egg, and cheese croissants for breakfast, to again showcase the items that I sell through Cooper River Farms to the restaurants. So we were up in the Conway Myrtle Beach area, and I got distracted, and the chef comes over with a pan of burnt ass butter and goes, "Were you planning on caramelizing some onions in here?" It's like, "Yeah, chef, I was." And he was like, "Those onions right there." Major shout out to him. He saved the morning for me, because he just went ahead and threw that pan in the dishwash section, and then went ahead and not only caramelized some onions for me, but he ended up making the mashed potatoes for the bangers and mash, because the turnaround time that I needed, I did not anticipate all that well. Well, I'm sitting here today, and this isn't going to be the first time I play with bananas with this. I love the concept. Well, I'm sitting here today looking at these bananas. The minute I started going through it, I should have got a taco stand for them, because a taco stand would have made it really easy to cook them in there. And that was just again, another rookie mistake on my part. But next time I do it, there's definitely going to be ice cream involved. So I'm supposed to take these. The recipe calls to wrap them entirely in foil. I'm not sure I want to do that, because doing that, I don't think you're going to get the smoke penetration you're looking for. So I want some of that pecan smoke in there. But you're supposed to put some of this flavor down in these. This actually might have even been better to use banana leaves instead of the aluminum foil. Now that I'm thinking through it, might have been better to use banana leaves, because that it would have offered the same protection that the aluminum foil is going to offer it, but it would have brought and introduced more flavor to the recipe itself. So again, like I said, all of this is basically because I didn't know what to do today, and I woke up and started playing with ChatGPT and was like, "Can you make a recipe for me?" And it made not one but two recipes. I went and bought ingredients based off of those recipes. I loaded them on the internet to see, on Google, to see if it basically plagiarized those recipes from somewhere else. But from what I can tell, they're pretty close to original. And my buddy that I was talking to about it this morning, it was funny because he was like, you remember when Google, the AI that Google made, came up with like a bounty cake that, and it was all original. And I do remember that. I never made it. And now that I'm out here with this food boat, I definitely want to try it and make it. So let's get these sauces loaded up in here. Is going nuts. I'm not sure how much of his antics y'all can see, but I can tell you right now, even though I'm not doing this 100% correctly, it's going to be delicious. Again, like I said, time and time again, one of my favorite things to cook with, though, is pineapple. And doing all of this makes me want to bring the pineapples out. And it's very similar to this recipe with the pineapples. You just smoke them for about 3 hours. And once it takes all that smoke in and it softens up, you use it as a boat, and it just becomes a vessel for ice cream. But I'll caramelize up some pineapple to also serve with it. Oh man, that tastes so good. What it's missing, though, if you ask me, is honey. It's got brown sugar in it, but it can definitely use some honey. So I think it might be time to pull those out. So let's maybe swap them. I'll bring this in since I don't have something else to show y'all. But this is what we're working with here. So you can see the incision allows you to induce some flavor down in it. It calls for it to be completely covered. I don't think I want to do that. I'll once I put this in there, I'll hop in the comment section, see what y'all are saying. Civi, is it Civi or Civi? I'm sorry for mispronouncing it. My last name being Astorino, it's been mispronounced my entire life. I don't mean anything by that, but if you could tell me, I don't know if it needs to be covered or not. I think that more flavor will be added to it as it's exposed. It looks like I need to actually add more chips anyways. So let's swap this one for these and add some more chips. Come on now. These gloves are perhaps a little too bulky. This is what we're working with right now with the sweet potatoes. So as you can see, they're still a little hard though. I need those things to get a little softer. Let's close that box up and add some more chips. Probably should get a scoop for this too, huh? Probably should get a scoop for that. Still just fumbling my way through this entire operation. But burnt through a lot of the chips early because one thing I've noticed while I'm out here cooking for y'all is I don't bring it up to temp and get it started soon enough. So the goal was today to have this thing rolling with some smoke before I even started filming, and I accomplished that. But it also means I burnt through a lot of chips prior to the live feed. So let's close that up, get some smoke going, maybe add a little bit more heat, might soften those up. So right now, I guess we're just in a waiting game. Let's keep you over there. My spoon. My spoon is over here. Might have made that sauce a little too early. I don't think I had this temperature high enough, so my my timing is off. Or, which I highly doubt it, it could be ChatGPT's temperatures and timing is off, but I highly doubt it because I'm sure AI is definitely smarter than me. So let's hop over here, see what some of y'all got to say. What do we got going on? Yeah, I did miss the balloon event yesterday. Andy with Menorcan Mullet called me and said I should have came out here and popped the balloon before the live feed. I am so glad the government finally shot that thing down. I don't know how many of y'all remember. I had a cousin adopting a kid about 25 years ago when our spy planes were shot down in a collision or whatever. I think they said planes collided, whoever. I think our stuff went down and the Chinese did not. But my cousin got stuck in in China while dealing with that. So when people were like, that thing's coming right for the Carolinas, it was ridiculous, especially when one of the routes looked like it was going over Bragg, where our special forces are housed. I can't imagine the government allowing them to even get close. So I'm glad that they did take care of that. Pitch them in the smoker as long as they're not peeled. You do Hawaiian pulled pork on banana leaves. Yeah, one of my favorite recipes that I do is I'll take boneless, skinless chicken thighs and I'll marinate them in citrus. So I do lemon, lime, and pineapple juice. Marinate them in that, let it really break them down and tenderize it. And then I will slice up lemon, lime, and pineapples, wrap it all in a pineapple leaf, single serving, wrap it in twine, throw it on the grill. And then I'll serve it up with some grilled pineapple that's been seared and sprinkled with cinnamon, and then I've got a bourbon bayou glaze, and that's a real crowd pleaser. I love that recipe. I'll need to do it out here for y'all. I haven't actually done it in a while, but I need to do that. Sorry, the other thing that went wrong today is my mouse. The battery died. So the battery died on it. Speaking of batteries dying, it looks like the battery on this camera, even though it's plugged in, is not staying up with. My guess is going to the high def filming is I'm burning through that camera a little bit faster than what that cord could keep up with. Definitely take your vacation time. Love to get both you and Tim out here. Come hang out. We'll go do whatever. I mean, if you want to come to the East Coast, please, by all means, come on. Charleston is known for its hospitality. My background is the hospitality sector, so come on out. We'll take you out on the water. Okay. We've got Captain Geechee telling me to use a big metal commercial style cooking spoon. Perfect. That makes a lot of sense. And then we're back to temps are dependent on the ambient temperatures and how many times you open the door. I open the door way too many times. So you're exactly right. I'm in and out of that thing too many times. So let's go back out there. We've got smoke rolling. Talking about open the door, I'm going to go mess with it and fiddle with it a little bit. I do need to make sure my sauce doesn't burn that's sitting on top, so I need to stir it. and then check on those bananas, because those bananas should not take long at all. So let's see what we got going on with the bananas. Why did I not see that coming? Oh man, they're looking pretty. They're looking pretty. Let me show you what we're working with here. Let me show you what we're working with. They are looking very pretty. They would be delicious with some ice cream right now. Man, that looks good. Might put it in there a little longer, let it soften it up. Maybe move it to the top so it doesn't get too much heat. But it's looking nice. I bet you that flavor from that sauce is infusing well with that banana. And the sweet potatoes still have a little while longer. They're not softening up as much as I would like them to. But let me stand in front of this camera a little while y'all talk in the comment section. I'd love to hear about how good the video is here. Whether it's good or bad, I don't know. Again, like I said, this is my first stream really going after the high def. I went ahead and bit the bullet, bought the subscription for StreamYard, and bought the top tier one because it's not necessarily 4K, but it's supposed to let me stream in 1080. So this should be a pretty clear video right now. And like I said, there's only a couple other things I want to get done to this. One of them is to be able to do a mobile stream with you as the barge moves. Don't see that as being all that difficult because the barge moves only at about 7 knots. So it would allow me to give you a nice view of the low country. These brown grasses should be getting a lot of color here soon. Everything should be getting green, less brown in the next couple months. And the low country really is a gorgeous place as far as all that goes. I do need a Bluetooth thermometer. Wow. I don't know why that was so hard to say, but you're right. I do need one so it keeps me from getting in and out of there too much. I need to be able to see what internal temps things are doing. And yes, especially when I go to meat. That's part of the reason why I wanted to start with these vegetables. I am not a vegetarian or a vegan, but with the last couple months, I've realized that I cannot eat meat 3 times a day like I used to. So I've got to change up my diet a little bit and try these out. So anyways, we are closing in on 50 minutes here. Thank you again for hanging out with me today. I do appreciate it. I really enjoy these live streams with y'all. And honestly, I don't know where I'm going to go with this show in its entirety, but this is the format that I want to go with, is taking the barge out somewhere, sputting it down, and cooking with y'all, hanging out. So awesome, Russell. Thanks for that. I like I said, I finally bit the bullet. You don't see the StreamYard logo here, so I'm not doing the free live streams. I went ahead and bought the subscription to StreamYard and bought the top tier so we can go ahead and get these good pictures. I just need to figure out these cameras a little bit better because that one, like I said, the one I'm talking to you on now is flashing. It might need to change out a battery swap here soon. But there's a couple more things I want to get figured out with this stream. One is the camera over here that's facing the smoker and everything, that camera right there. I've got some IR stuff coming in, infrared stuff coming in, ships out tomorrow from Utah to come. And what it will do is it'll pivot that camera and follow and track as I walk around and talk, which I think will add a whole new production value to the show. I just have to put some IR lapels on my front and back of my collar, and it's supposed to be able to track me. The next thing after that is I want to put in here in the kitchen a rail system that as I walk towards it or walk away from it, it'll run that camera back and forth as well. I think that'll really add a nice pacing and tempo to the production as we go in and out of the kitchen and start utilizing it more as well. And we've got I do need my logo. That camera died. Give me 1 second to swap the battery out. Like I said, it was going to die, and it ended up dying. So the goal is, give me 1 second. The goal is to get the logo there, and then also I will add the logo for the meat, which I sell around town, on there as well. Obviously put the Charleston on the water big, and put the meat logo that pays the bills and keeps the lights on down there as well, which is Cooper River Farm. That's boiled with these live streams, not charging batteries because I haven't had to charge them, because up until now running this higher quality, it hasn't done that to me. It's the charger has been able to stay up with it, but I guess shooting in the high def with the clarity, it ate these batteries, so I'm gonna have to start charging batteries again. So let me go ahead and get this plugged in, and once it's plugged in, we'll go check on everything. I'm sure those bananas need to come out, but let me get this plugged in. Also, probably going to have to head to Best Buy or something and just buy another cable, because the cable I'm using, I'm just thinking this through as I'm talking to you. The cable I'm using is not. Oh man, those look fantastic. Mariner got up for it. Oof. Mariner got up to check it out. I'll close that door in a minute, but let me show you this. These things look fantastic. I'm pretty sure they're done. I might put it over there and cut into one here in a second. But they're definitely in there longer than what ChatGPT said to put them in for. These are softening up too. Might leave them in there just a little smidgen longer, and then I'll take them out and I guess that crushed red pepper. I guess that's what I'm tasting there, or maybe the chili powder too. They got a bite to them. I love it. Yes, Victor, thanks again for reminding everyone. Please smash that like button. If you're here watching it live or on the replay, hit that like. Getting that comments in down below too if you're watching the replay. Let me know anything you're looking for. Like I said, this channel is still in its early stages, walking through everything, doing a shakedown per se with the boat, the camera, the gear, all of that. I got to get Say back out here. He just underwent some surgery, so it might be a couple weeks before I get him out here and get his drone in the air to get you some aerials too. I think I can do that live stream between the A10 Mini Pro and the StreamYard. I think I can get you some live drone footage as we sit here and talk. So I'm really excited for this summer and all the fun we're going to have here on the water. What do we got Russell saying? I really appreciate that, Russell. You, Tim, CV, Victor, I got all y'all hop in here frequently, and I really appreciate y'all coming to hang out with me. So let me hop back up there to the bow and maybe scald my mouth a little bit with the bananas. You can see my breath a little bit. I don't know. Yeah, temperature's dropping here as well. Really, really excited to be getting into warmer weather here. Warmer weather, longer days. I think once we get into longer days, I can probably come out and do some midweek streams with y'all. The problem is just this sun going down so soon. Once we get into these longer days, I can get this boat out and do some post happy hour streams. And I do realize that I also need to do some streams when I'm on the road. Just kind of show you the plant, maybe show you a couple of these different areas where we're selling, and yeah, just start having fun with all of this. Again, those of y'all that hang out with me, really appreciate it. And those on the rewatch, if you're still hanging out 56 minutes into it, again, thank you as well. So let's hop up there and see what we're working with. I really think a taco tray is going to be the best way to display and plate something like this up. But for right now, grab a second fork. I need the knife. Let's see what we're working with. One of the reasons I went with both of these items. Wow. Wow. Some peanut butter and some honey would have really tied that all in. Probably with the ice cream that it mentioned, but it didn't mention when I was buying the food. That is delicious. Man, I'm going to have to Google it. I don't know if you're allowed to eat this. I don't know if I've ever fed you bananas before. I think it's got enough flavor. What I might do is with these other three is get some foil, wrap it up, put it back in there, let it really soften that banana up. I think it's got enough of the pecan flavor to it. But let's hop over here while that's going on. Let that rest a minute, and I'm sure these are ready to come out. Oh, yeah. Yeah, they're looking great. Bring that in for you to see. Nice. Still a little hard, but they still got another 15, 20 minutes to cook once you put the glaze on them. So they're softening up. I'll let that glaze do its number and caramelize on there. Man, that crushed red pepper, I'm feeling the heat from it. Let's close you up, not let all that heat escape. We're out of smoke. And somebody forgot to put chips in there, so these chips are only going to get a few minutes of soak time while we do this, but it's better than nothing. So let's get some glaze on these. It used a barbecue sauce. I am curious to y'all that are here today or on the rewatch, what is your favorite barbecue sauce? Go ahead and put that in the comment section below. I know there's a lot of guys out there selling their own sauces. I know there's a lot of commercialized sauces. I'd be curious to hear what your favorite sauce is of y'all here on the channel watching this with me right now. Let me just roll these around in that glaze a little. Really get that flavor covering all these surfaces. Yeah, I'd be curious to hear what y'all's favorite sauces are as far as barbecue sauces go. Excuse me, I know, again, there's other YouTubers that make sauce, and then each and every barbecue place seems to have their own commercialized sauce. I've played with plenty of recipes on them. Just put my thumb in it. I don't think I've got any of them that I hate. Here in the Carolinas, we've got 3 different schools that people subscribe to with sauces. Some of them prefer mustard base, some of them prefer vinegar base, and then North Carolina, their vinegar base between the East Coast and the mountains is even different too. So again, like I said, I'd love to hear what y'all's comments are down below, what your favorite sauces are. So let's hop back over here real quick, see what we got going on in that comment section as I search up for foil. I thought, yep, there it is. I need to go ahead and cover those bananas in some foil. Honey based from Jeff, blackberry balsamic. Oh man, that sounds good. Carolina Gold for Captain Geechee, Mariner, and you both say yum, Russell. Yeah, Mariner's over here freaking dying. Tog says his turn. Yeah, Mariner is dying to get this. A coconut barbecue sauce. I'd be curious to hear what that recipe sounds like. Whatever one's on the short ribs. Fair enough. And yep. Mariner is definitely dying to get a hold of this stuff. So let's hop back out there. Cover these bananas up. And let them soften up a little. That's cooled down enough. And then let's get some wood chips in there to get some more flavor. I don't know if they need any more flavor. That recipe for the burnt ends and pieces actually only calls for heat, not so much smoke. Again, ChatGPT seems like it's a very interesting thing to do. I know a lot of people that I've spoke to about ChatGPT. One friend that's a copywriter, she was talking about just how much it helps improve it. It gets you about 80-90% of the way there, it seems. So I should have taken a moment to actually look at the recipe a little bit better and maybe ask a couple more questions for clarity. God, I hate that. That was that's the Army. You're always supposed to, like, did you ask enough clarifying questions? Did you do this? Did you do that? It is so funny. And it's because the government spent so much money figuring out how to develop leaders, that stuff does really go well in today's life. It's just funny when you sit here and you click and you're like, ah, man, that's an Army moment. Clarifying questions. And it seems like ChatGPT, really, the more questions you ask it, the better it'll do. So I'm going to go back and play with it some more and see what it can do. Because like I said, we've got Tangi coming out Wednesday. Next Friday, I don't really have any plans sorted out. If there's anything that y'all want to see, leave that in the comment section below too for Friday. And then Saturday, Mike, Polish Cha-Cha, is coming into town, and we're going to do wings, and we're going to do a smoked fish dip, and all of that in preparation for Super Bowl Sunday. I might sit Sunday out then because it's Super Bowl Sunday, and we'll just check back in with y'all the following week for the Wildlife Expo. But yeah, I think thinking through this now, Super Bowl Sunday, I think it'd be better to just go hang out with not saying I don't enjoy hanging out with y'all, but Super Bowl Sunday I might go hang out with a couple of my buddies because I don't get a good enough reception yet. When we get that Starlink thing out here, I can put a TV out here and watch the Super Bowl. But right now, being able to broadcast to y'all in HD on the phone, I'm not really able to do much else. So I need to do that. Let me hop back over here. Again, I really cannot wait. I really cannot wait till that camera tracks me as I move around. I think that's going to add so much more. Andy, good to see you. Dropping by for a quick visit. Always welcome, my friend. I was really hoping you'd drop in sooner when I held up the bananas, because Andy's got a sign on the Menorcan Mullet about absolutely no bananas. And here I am today out here on the boat, playing with bananas. So before Andy hops off here, because he's hopping in real quick, he said, let me go ahead and cut this up a little bit and enjoy some banana for you, Andy. I know the barge is a little bit different. Whatever research I've done on bananas as to why they're not allowed on boats, it seems that it's all going back to the time of sale. And there's a couple of different theories as to why bananas are bad luck on boats. One of them is they spoil so quickly that it caused the crew and the captain to take a lot more risk to get to their final destination. So to get the bananas to their destination, they took on a lot more risk sailing. And if they wrecked, whoever would find the wreck and the debris would find the bananas and be like, it's because of the bananas. Another thing I saw too on the bananas was, what was it? The insects, the spiders, and then the gases that they give off in the hold. And as they rot or ripen and then rot, it changes the way the boat sits in the water and the ballast and all of that. So this is delicious, but I'm hoping leaving them in there a little bit longer as they soften up, that will be an amazing recipe. And then, yes, I did see the comment about burgers. I need to get no bananas. No bananas. Yep, they're out here today. Sorry, Andy. Hopefully I make it back to the dock. Knock on wood, all that other stuff. I'm tempting fate, I know, but God, that is delicious. Not saying I want it to be my last meal, but I might be okay if it had ice cream and chocolate syrup. Bad luck with bananas on board. And then we got Captain Geechee over here. No difference, ask Nick. Yeah, Captain Nick, like I said, a lot of it's all folklore. And everything in boating is folklore. When commissioning this barge that the structure sits on right now, it was funny throwing a commissioning party. You can't throw it on Thursday because that's Thor's day, the god of thunder. And then you can't throw it on Friday because Jesus died on a Friday. You can't throw it on, obviously, April Fool's Day. There were only certain days you could throw it on that like weren't tempting fate, and it was a lot. It was a lot of fun looking into that folklore behind boating as to like why you can't do stuff. And it's always fun doing that stuff with traditions. But yeah. Sorry, I'm having a tough time clicking between comments right now because my mouse is dead. Came out here, need to carry extra batteries with me on it. So having a tough time with that. Worst luck is a barrel of monkeys. If you have a barrel of monkeys and bananas, I guess that makes sense. But yeah, anyways, we're about an hour into this, hour and 10 it looks like. I think that everything should be ready to come out. I'm hoping by now, other than Russell, with his Chef Boyardee, I haven't had much to eat. Oh man, that's looking really good. That's looking really good. I haven't had much to eat other than that banana. But let me get this up here for you. Get a fork, maybe. They're a little too hard still. They're harder than I would want. Scalding hot. Of course, it just came out of the smoker. Oh, it's good, though. That's good. What I might need to do is just bring that temperature way up now. Take the bananas out. Take that temperature up. And let it finish cooking those. Potatoes like to be cooked at a higher temp than a banana, obviously. We've only been running around 300. So let's maybe add some heat to it and see what we got going on with the bananas. Oh God, that looks good. Oh man, ice cream. Hot. Hot plate. Hot plate. Ice cream. Ice cream is definitely needed out here. And the good thing about having a food boat is I've got a freezer and a refrigerator in there. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. Actually, maybe even a little bit softer. Maybe a little bit softer, but that is delicious. It's got that, you can taste the cinnamon, you can taste the nutmeg, definitely the brown sugar. Like I said, that recipe for the sweet potatoes called for honey. Maybe honey, but honey might have sweetened it up a little too much. I like that balance though. Again, like I said, Andy, I know you're just tuning in. ChatGPT is the one that came up with this recipe. And I'm really liking it. As you can tell, as I sit here and eat bananas. Wow. So part of, again, the reason I chose bananas is that diverticulitis. I went to the ER with it right there around Thanksgiving time. And because of that, I've realized that I don't have enough fiber in my life. So when looking up high fibrous diets, bananas were on that list. Bananas are a huge favorite of mine. Plus, going back to my grandmother as a throwback for her, she would always talk about bananas, potassium. She would joke with us about bananas and fighting the scurvy. But bananas with my grandmother are near and dear to me because of that memory. So let me tidy up this table a little bit, because as those come out, I'd like to be able to put them out here and plate them for y'all. So I've got a plate, oddly enough, ready with some cornbread. And I think cornbread and barbecue go great together. So with them being a burnt end sweet potato, I figured cornbread would be a nice way to do it. And then I've got just some raw honey, drizzle on there, dress it up a little bit. Probably could have done something green as a puree. Maybe even just pureed up some sweet potato and done the honey with, an orange puree as well. Again, like I said, still trying to figure this channel out, still trying to figure out like different ways to step up the game when I bring chefs out here. And I think that a nice little plating competition between them and I would be a fun way to spice it up live for y'all, other than just have me out here talking and cooking. Would be to have a chef out here and the two of us going up against each other plating it. And I would hope that the chef would do a better job plating it than I would. So let's let that cook a few minutes longer. We're still sitting at 300 degrees. So maybe a little bit more gas. More power. But nanners on Cheerios will get you through this. Eat every morning. Yeah, I love bananas on Cheerios. Y'all are great. Y'all, like these comments in this between Russell and Jeff and Tim, y'all are great. Yeah, I think that there's a little bit more tweaking that could be done. But like you said, I do enjoy just coming out here, chilling and grilling with y'all. Like I said, just maybe, obviously, some of these guest chefs, getting them out here. And then I think it'd be a lot of fun once it's out in the river. My friends can come up, tie up. And then that way when it comes time to eat, it's not just my reaction. It's not just the chef's reaction. You can get some unsolicited responses out of some of my friends and randos as they pull up. I don't know. Like I said, I don't think the barge is going to be licensed. You can see it at one point did have a DHEC license for serving when it was on pontoons, but when I took it off the pontoons and put it on the barge, it no longer can go to a commissary kitchen. And since it can no longer go to a commissary kitchen, it can't get certified as a food truck. So I need to work with the state of South Carolina to maybe get this licensable to serve food to the general public. But for right now, it's just y'all hanging out with me, and then a few guest chefs, maybe some randos and friends pulling up and cooking and eating with. But none of it will be sold, unfortunately. So we'll just be coming out here and chilling and grilling. So let's, what are we at? We're about 10 minutes since we hiked that temperature up a little bit. They should be close to done. So I might pull them, dress that plate up, eat, and then and call it. We're 5:30, 5:20. Tide's coming in. We got plenty of time before that sun goes down. Crying towel? You need a crying towel, huh? Is that because you're Chef Boyardee? What I need to do is actually, that gives me a good idea, is like the basic simple things that, you know, we do it as a bachelor in this world, or, you know, somebody on the go, like ramen and stuff. Like, how do you dress it up, and how do you go from there? I'm assuming, Jeff, you're talking about bring your girl over. We broke up. If you're talking about my girl, we broke up. So I don't think she'll be coming out anytime soon. And then, Tim, to answer your question, the barge isn't trailerable. The barge is a 12 by 40 barge. I guess I can take it down to Ross Marine, have them put it in the travel lift, pick it up, put it on a trailer it to a commissary kitchen for the inspections and whatever randomly they need. The problem with that is it's going to cost me about $800 every time I need to use the lift, and about another $700-800 to get somebody to trailer it. And I just, number wise, it doesn't make sense to do that with the state. I just don't think I'll be able to sell enough food out on the water to justify that. So it needs to physically sit at a commissary kitchen, and there are no commissary kitchens with docks. So that's the state of South Carolina. Georgia made an exception to that. There is the Savannah Burger Boat. Chef Mike, he's got a boat that is completely self-contained on the water that he serves from, and it's all good. It's all good, guys. It doesn't, I mean, she just got tired of my shit, or I got tired of her shit. I don't even know what happened. But we are separate ways. One, and then obviously Florida, if y'all follow Alfred, most of y'all do. I went down there and worked on a food boat for a weekend back in 2020 before buying this to see if it's something I wanted to do. Florida, it is tempting to take this thing all the way down to Florida, and I might do that next year. We'll see. Florida is a lot easier and a lot more lenient on this. And there was a food boat in the Lauderdale area that sank last June, July. So it leaves a nice little gap there to fill. I haven't committed to moving to Lauderdale for a food boat. Like I said, I'll probably build this out, get it set with the channel going, and see where it goes. I'm not saying no. I just saying not right now. So yeah, it is pretty dumb, Tim, but it's the government. That's how they work. Let me hop back out here real quick and pull these ends and pieces, because I am sure they are done. I am sure they are done. Get that fork, stick a fork in it, and it's done. Oh yeah, they're nice and soft. They're nice and soft. Maybe not soft enough, but oh yeah, they're good. These will be good. So let me plate this up real quick. And then we'll just hang out, chill out, and see what we got. So, but yeah, it needs to be able to go to a commissary kitchen, and because it's on a barge, that's not possible. So I'm cool with it right now. I obviously would have liked to have had another response or another answer, but for the time being, I'm just going to enjoy the boat, getting out on the water. I've really missed being out on the water. Even these little short treks, just getting from the dock to here, I forgot how much I missed it. I am actually looking forward to taking this thing on the road and getting out and doing more fun things. Like I said, I've got some stuff lined up once we get out of oyster season, as far as the brunt of oyster roasts. Cricket with Low Country Oyster. I'm going to take this down to the Ace Basin, hang out with him, do a quick tour of the farm, probably make some video of that, and then do a live stream hanging out with him, cooking some oysters on the barge. We've got a few other different things going. I've got Rocky Magwood Seafood out of Shem Creek. Shem Creek, if you're not familiar with Charleston, is where the shrimp boats hang out. So Rocky has a shrimp boat out of Shem Creek, and we will hopefully go shrimping, come back with a nice catch of shrimp, and then get some of the Cooper River kielbasa and do some boils. Maybe do a shrimp three-way with him. We do have a shrimp three-way coming up at the end of April with the Blessing of the Fleet, which is in Mount Pleasant. So we'll park this right by the Mount Pleasant Pier. And as we cook shrimp three-way, I'll have Chef Chris Roush out here cooking that day. He is the banquet chef at the Francis Marion Hotel downtown. You'll see the shrimp boats passing by as they get their blessing on the pier from the priest. So we'll post up out there during that. That's the end of April. A lot of this stuff, I do realize I need to make a post in the community tab, so y'all can mark your calendar. But I've just really been busy trying to do this research on this and get ready for this season and fumble through these different hiccups and learning curves before the season gets here. So like my weekend right now literally consists of waking up, going to the store, buying what I need, coming out here and trying it, and then wake up and do it all over again. So like today, paying for StreamYard. Those of you who aren't aware, I'm going through bankruptcy with the dock business. I lost that company in 2020, so I'm still fumbling through and slow walking that. A lot of that's my fault. But I'm going through bankruptcy with that. So as a result of it, a purchase like StreamYard, I have to go and buy a prepaid card and load it up with some cash and then pay for it online with the card. So buying internet purchases aren't as easy as they used to be because of all of that. So like when I do research, there's a lot of work that goes into it. So I do realize that I probably should have poured some of this dressing on prior to, or the glaze on prior to, and really made this plate look a little better. But we're gonna go ahead and get some glazing going here. And then that sauce is good enough to eat, so I'll just eat it. Yeah, that crushed red pepper got a little bit subdued with the heat, so let's get some honey on there now. Come on, honey. Up. Oh, once it comes, it comes. That is what she said for sure. I need one of those honeycombs. That's good enough. Reminds me too, I need to call the gentleman who does a lot of honey here in town. Get him up. He owns Big Bone Barbecue Catering, so he also does an amazing catering job and some really good burnt ends. Get him out. He does competition barbecue. Get him out here, do some barbecue, but also talk about his beekeeping and his honey product. Let me show this to y'all real quick. That's my best job I can do of plate presentation for it. And look at the black lab right there. He's dying. Huh? He's dying for some of this food. So let me oh, that's good. That's good. They soften up pretty good. Probably could have cut back on the crushed red peppers. Yeah, it would be the crushed red peppers that are giving that bite. One thing I have learned in the meat industry is when you make stuff, you don't make it for your palate, you make it for the mass palate. We did a jalapeno cheddar that was a delicious jalapeno cheddar, and in retail could have sold really well. But the jalapenos weren't de-seeded, and with that on top of the chili powder and the cayenne and all that, it was hot. It was hot, and there was no way it would have sold at scale in the restaurants. Wow, this is delicious. Wow. I'm not tooting my own horn because I didn't come up with this recipe. ChatGPT did. And I didn't even do a good job of preparing it. I am glad I did the cornbread in there, though, because it's helping cut that heat. That is a hot. ChatGPT didn't say to do that, freaking crushed red peppers. I did, thinking it would help it. And it's good, but it's hot. Let me hop back over here. In your honest opinion, should have a fleet of barges flying the waters of the ICW, contemplating buying a liveaboard to eat. Yeah, man. Yeah. So, and Russell, yeah, that tide comes in. South Carolina, right now we have a 5.5 tidal swing this time of the moon cycle. We get up to 6, almost 7 foot tidal swings here with the king tide. And then with the you go down to Beaufort, Bluffton, Hilton Head, they get even more. There's certain areas where they have a huge tide influx, but here we have a pretty good influx with this tidal swing. Again, I'm sorry. Let me see what you're saying. If you think the health department is harsh about permitting, you should see Washington State. I'm sure. I'm sure. Plus, I was watching that street food show. Let me put these on the stairs so Mariner don't. I was watching that street food show where they were talking about how hard California is on the street vendors. Yeah, we have it okay. We don't have it as good as some other people do. And a lot of this stuff, you just got to pioneer it and blaze the way. And we've got some people that do it the right way and some people that don't. I've sometimes do stuff and ask for forgiveness, but I just haven't done that with this. Where the idea of this came from was, hey, Mariner's about to jump up there and grab stuff. Where the idea for all this came from was I threw a concert in 2020 out in the middle of the harbor. Parked a 120-foot barge out there, got Colt out there, Colt Ford. Great time. We had local artists. Lauren Hall, she was actually up in Nashville for a record launch. She played. And then I'm having a brain fart. I'll put it in the comment section below as to who else played. But when everything was getting canceled, just that didn't sit well for the 4th of July to be canceled. So threw together a concert, went out there and did that. And the guy that owned this boat, not the barge, but when it was on the pontoons, tried to get him to come out and serve. And he had other stuff to do that day, wouldn't come out. So that's what was the catalyst to me buying this, was like, I really want to create like entertainment on the water, like full spectrum entertainment, doing crazy shit all the time, more concerts if I can. And the problem with that is, in order to do so, you need to be relevant. And as a entrepreneur owning a construction company, I was not relevant in this realm, in this sphere. So that's what a lot of this is like, all right, let's figure it out. Let's get through these hurdles. Let's get this figured out, that figured out, get a YouTube channel going, start meeting people and making friends in that realm. So when I try to recreate lightning in a bottle and do another concert, we can do it at scale. And I can do a large concert. We can have vendors out there selling food, activating the crowd, and monetizing the event. Because the thing about doing that during COVID was a lot of things got canceled, so it was easier to get sponsors. Plus, the more the government pushed back, I had like all three mayors, all three cities trying to shut the thing down. So the more they pushed back, the more some of my bigger sponsors were like, you need another 10 grand? Here you go. You need another 5 grand? Here you go. And they helped me get it past the finish line and get the event done. Now there's no need for that. So recreating that lightning in the bottle is just difficult. So that's what part of this is like, all right, how do we create a waterborne entertainment venture? And it's just figuring it out. One thing I did realize while throwing that concert was like, I had no idea what backline was. I had no idea what all that different stuff was. And now I do. So just trying to figure out what hurdles there are, what obstacles there are, and what else needs to be overcome to make stuff do that. So anyways, that being said, let me Google, can dogs eat bananas? Never fed my dog a banana. In moderation, bananas are great low-calorie treats for dogs, high in potassium. Okay. So, not your dog's main diet, though. Okay. And then, can your dog eat sweet potatoes? When feeding your dog a sweet potato, make sure it is cooked and that the skin is removed. Well, that is done. Leaving the skin on makes it harder for your dog to digest. You should never feed your dog a raw sweet potato. I'm glad he didn't eat that sweet potato I dropped on the ground then. Apparently my dog knows better than me. So maybe before we log off here, I let the good boy get some treats. So you want to come here? Uh-huh. Come here. Come here. Sit down. No? You were jumping up here and wanting it. You sure you don't want it? Well, he's not a fan of the banana. What about the sweet potato? The sweet potato he likes. The bananas are a no-go for the buddy boy. But the bananas the sweet potatoes he approves of. Oh. And I know he approves of that cornbread. So let me step back here real quick and get him a little bit more cornbread. I know he approves of the cornbread. That's it. That's all you get. Huh? You don't want the banana. And I think that's it for today. So again, y'all, thanks again for tuning in. Really appreciate it. Hope to see you out here. Like I said, probably Wednesday, I'm going to try to convince you to go live. I think it'll be a lot of fun going live with Tangi. So that'll happen Wednesday, early afternoon. So for you, I want to get her out here, do some cooking with her. I'm not entirely sure what yet. I'm going to reach out to her when I get back to the dock, find out what we're going to be cooking on Wednesday. On Friday, we'll get back out here, do some more things with the boat, do some more cooking, and then Saturday rolls around. Polish Cha-Cha Mike is coming into town. We'll do some cooking with him. So until then, thanks again. Been a lot of fun hanging out with you. So cool being able to do this in HD. And see you on the water soon.